Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 5 of statistical analysis for public policy and management. My name is Shirley. So in today's class, we're going to talk about regression analysis, mediation, and moderation. In last week's class, you have already learned some basic forms of regression analysis, multiple regression, and logistic regression. So in today's class, we're going to talk about a more complicated form of regression analysis, mediation and moderation. I'm going to walk you through the concepts of mediation and moderation, how to differentiate mediation and moderation, and how to do mediation and moderation analysis by using different methods. So mediation and moderation are actually very popular. Here it shows one of the most well-known papers on mediation and moderation. It is written by Barrett and Kenny, which was published in 1986. The Google Scholar shows that it has already been cited by over 100,000 times. So it is very popular. It has been already adopted by scholars from very many different fields, such as social work, psychology, education, sociology, public policy, and etc. So why is so popular? It is because mediation and moderation are about the causal mechanisms of different variables between or among different variables. So after you know the causal mechanism, you will be able to develop interventions for different types of problems, right? So to give you a little bit sense about mediation and moderation, here it shows an example. From the past studies, we know that exposure to role models can increase your entrepreneurial intention, which means that for example, when you have more friends who are successful entrepreneurs, or you read a lot of stories about successful entrepreneurs, this will help you develop your intention to become an actual entrepreneur in the future. So we have known this fact, right? Exposure to role model will increase entrepreneurial intention. The question is why this happens, or how this happens. Some scholars found that actually entrepreneurial self-efficacy play a role in the middle. So what is entrepreneurial self-efficacy? It is your confidence in yourself to do well as an entrepreneur. They found that exposure to role models will positively lead to entrepreneurial self-efficacy. And then this self-efficacy will further lead to the entrepreneurial intention. So this is why there is a relationship between exposure to role models and entrepreneurial intention. When we find such a variable like entrepreneurial self-efficacy, we are actually exploring the mediating mechanism or a mediation model. Another question about the relationship between exposure to role models and entrepreneurial intention is like this relationship, will this relationship be different between male and female? So we are talking about whether gender will play a role in the relationship, right? So when we ask such question, we are actually asking a question about moderation, or the moderating role of gender in the relationship between exposure to role models and entrepreneurial intention. So what exactly mediation or moderation? On the left hand, it shows the mediation model. Here you can see that X leads to mediator, and then mediator leads to Y, right? And also there's a relationship between X and Y. So mediation is about the reason of the effect between X and Y. This is about why X affects Y or how X affects Y. From this simple model, we can say that it is because X affects mediator and then mediator affects Y. So it's about a causal network, right? So from the example we showed in previous slide, the relationship between exposure to role models and entrepreneurial intention, we can see there is a mediating effect of entrepreneurial self-efficacy in the middle. So it shows that exposure to role model will increase entrepreneurial self-efficacy, and then entrepreneurial self-efficacy will increase entrepreneurial intention. And this is why there is a positive relationship between exposure to role models and entrepreneurial intention. And this is about mediation. So for moderation, it's about contextualizing the effect of X and Y. It's about the question of when, or it's about the question of how universal is the causal effect or the causal relationship between X and Y. Right, for the example we just showed, so we hypothesize that maybe gender play a role in the middle. For example, for male, maybe the relationship between exposure to role models and entrepreneurial intention might be stronger than female, right? So the between X and Y will change for different groups, for different for people with different gender or different races or even age groups. So this is about the moderating effect of gender or other types of variables. And from this slide, we can see that both moderation and mediation are about a third important variable in the model, right? But there are other types of scenarios that also involve a third variable in the model. For example, like these two. So are they mediators or moderators? On the left hand, you can see X leads to Y and Z also leads to Y, but there's no relationship between X and Z. So is this model a mediation or moderation model? The answer is it is neither a mediation model nor a moderation model because there's no relationship between X and Y, right? So it cannot show you a full picture of the causal mechanism or the causal network. It's not a network. So here in this model, we can only say that Z is a covariate in this model. It's more like a control variable. And for the model on the right hand, you can see Z leads to X and Z also leads to Y and also X leads to Y. So this is very similar like the mediation model, but the direction between X and Z is different. So in mediation model, the direction is from X to Z, right? But in here, the direction is the reverse one, from Z to X. So is this model a mediation model? The answer is also no. Well, in this model, we will call this Z as a confounder because it affects both X and Y at the same time. So in this scenario, it is not a mediation. And in most of the cases, when you run regression analysis, we need to control co-founders in the model because the co-founders will threaten the validity of the result. So that's why we need to control it in the model. And so based on the different scenarios of third variable, here is a summary about the criteria of moderation or mediation. So for mediation model, the mediator must be the causal effect of X, which means the direction must be from X to mediator. And Y must be the causal result of mediator, which means the mediator must lead to Y, right? So you need to have the both conditions or both relationship at the same time. But for moderator, there's no very rigid criteria. So sometimes in very special cases, the moderator can also be mediator. So what you need to remember is about the mediation, about the criteria of mediation, about the directions, and also the two relationship, the two positive. So this is about mediation, the concepts of mediation and moderation, and how you differentiate mediation and moderation, and what are the criteria to judge mediation and moderation. Next, we're going to do some exercise on mediation, on differentiating mediation and moderation. So here are 3 cases which will need you to see whether it is a mediation model or moderation model. So the first one is about a study examines the relationship between parental involvement in education and student achievement. So the researchers also found that parental involvement has a positive relationship with student motivation, and then student motivation will in turn affect student achievement. So is this a mediation or moderation? The answer is it is mediation, right? So from this statement, you can see clearly that there is a causal chain from parental involvement to student motivation. And then student motivation will lead to student achievement. So you can see there is 2 paths which they link to each other, right? So this is a mediation. The second one is a study examined the relationship between physical activity and stress. And the study found that the physical activity reduces stress only for individuals who are highly fit. So is it a mediation or moderation? The answer is very clearly it is a moderation, right? Because here we can see it is about when, right? When is the relationship? This relationship happens only for individuals who are highly fit. So you can see that the fitness of individuals, for individuals who are at different levels of fitness, the relationship between physical activity and stress can be different. So this is a moderation. And the last case is the study examines the relationship between leadership style and employee satisfaction. And they also found that transformational leadership style has a positive effect on employee satisfaction, but only for employees who have high job autonomy. So this is very obvious, right? When you see only for, it means that it is it's about how universal is the relationship. So this is also a moderation model.